How can Nikki Haley, she was our representative to the United Nations, she was the governor of South Carolina, how can this woman be so unaware of how healthcare works in the United States versus Finland? She just made a complete fool of herself. It's astonishing. Your comments, please, and don't forget to subscribe. It's Nikki Haley. This is kind of a variation on the discussion about, about happiness and the whole happiness index, and which countries are happy and which are not, and why is it? And I would say that having universal access to health care, having high levels of unionization, and thus good job security and good pay, a high minimum wage, having active participation in democracy, having free college education, and having a strong social safety net. All of these countries also have strong, what we would call social security programs. That those things all bring us happiness. And as we discussed earlier in the week, and I've got, you'll find my article on this over at alternet.org right now, and I think it's also on Common Dreams and TruthDig. It's titled something like, what billionaires mean when they're talking about freedom. And, basically, from a billionaire's point of view, freedom means no taxes, no regulations, which is the mantra that the Republicans sing. But for the average working American, what does that, what does that matter? If you get a really substantial tax cut, over time your employer will just lower your wages. We've seen that over and over again. That when taxes go down on working people over the next 3 years, their wages go down because the employers know what they're willing to work for, basically without pre or post tax. And particularly with big corporations, I mean they finally calibrate this stuff. And doing away with regulations, I mean, that, in other words, there's more poison in our air, there's more poison in our water. How does that make the average person happier? I mean, it makes maybe the billionaires happier, it makes their businesses more profitable, but you and me, I don't get it. And meanwhile, here now, Nikki Haley comes in, and she lashed out at Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders tweeted, in the United States, it costs on average $12,000 to have a baby. In Finland, it costs $60. We've got to end the disgrace of our profit-driven healthcare system and pass Medicare for all. That's what Bernie said. And so Nikki Haley responds, and this is so amazing. Nikki Haley responds by saying, all right, Bernie Sanders, you're not the woman having the baby, so I wouldn't be out there talking about skimping on a woman when it comes to childbirth. Trust me. Nice try, though. And then she adds, healthcare costs are too high. That is true, but comparing us to Finland is ridiculous. Ask them about how their healthcare system is. You won't like the answer. Now, this is our former UN ambassador. You would think that she would have some clue as to how life is in European countries, particularly Northern European countries. So the UN ambassador from Finland to the United Nations, Kai Sauer, responds to Nikki Haley's tweet with his tweet. Here are some facts. Finland has a high-performing health system with remarkable good quality in both primary and hospital care. The country also achieves good health status at relatively low levels of health spending OECD. Finland has the world's third lowest infant mortality rate. Maternal mortality is the lowest in the world in Finland. And Finland has the second lowest total mortality rate from cancer of all European countries. And then he says, finally, his fourth tweet, the ambassador from Finland to Nikki Haley is, apologies for the delayed reply, but we were out celebrating our rank as the happiest country in the world. Right. And then Christopher Sprigman, he tweets, life expectancy in Finland, 81.4 years. Life expectancy in the U.S., 78.7 and falling. Finland maternal death rate, 3 women die for every 100,000 live births. In the United States, 26 women die for every 100,000 live births. Upshot, Nikki Haley doesn't know jack about health care in either Finland or the U.S. Evan Handler tweeted to Nikki Haley, why not just tweet, I'm uninformed and dangerous, but I speak to millions, so take seriously what I say. Right. Somebody else said, imagine being as dumb as Nikki Haley thinks you are. Another one says, we skimp so much on pregnant women and the newborn that every pregnant person receives a maternity package filled with closed other goodies for the child for free. This is, somebody from Finland is tweeting this. Lambert says, hey, I'm not finished, but I lived in Finland for 5 years. The healthcare system is effing phenomenal. That means great, by the way, and puts the crap you have in the United States to shame. I cleaned that up a little bit. Another one, Dana Hole tweets, 2018 poll of Finns who have had or used or had family who have used the healthcare system in the last year, 83% satisfied, only 15% dissatisfied. Are you satisfied with the American healthcare system?